the New England Patriots, you never want to count them out, even though last year, they weren't a playoff team. They still fought teams throughout the year. They still gave up good fights. And listen, bringing in former Penn State coach, former Houston Texans coach for a very long time, multiple playoff appearances, Bill O'Brien coming back to New England as the offensive coordinator. I think this is going to do wonders for this offense because are they going to be elite? No, they don't have the talent to be elite, but I think they're going to be a lot better. This was a mess of a team last year offensively. They still were competitive because it's a Bill Belichick coach team. But what's your take on just, I guess, this Patriots offense in general?
I think they're going to be better. They're going to be better organized than last year, but no one really moves me. Like outside of maybe Devontae Parker, but that's because I like Devontae
Oh,
Parker.
come on.
That's not because he's actually a number one wide receiver. I just like him
Fair.
because
I like Kendrick Bourne a lot too. I'm hoping he comes back.
like they have a lot of 2 and 3 receivers, and there's no clear number one wide receiver on this team. Like Juju, even on the Chiefs last year, like honestly, like Juju should have been better on the Chiefs last year, and he wasn't terrible. I don't want to like kind of like like diminish what he did, but I think for someone for who had such like a good start to their career, Juju like has really like fallen off since then. Honestly, I don't think they're like offense is going to be that great. I just think they're going to be a bit more organized, so they'll be a little better. But I don't think like in a general sense they can compete with the rest of the AFC East.
I think they're going to have to be smash mouth. They're going to have to rely on that offensive line, which is pretty solid. I think you look at this group across the board. I mean, Trent Brown's had his injury concerns, but I think he was pretty solid last year. Cole Stranger, after they overdrafted him, but he was pretty solid as a rookie. Hopefully he keeps getting better. So just across their O-line solid. My thing with them, so they let Damian Harris go, which I think was okay. I don't think he was happy with how they handled his play last year. And obviously, like we said, they're changing the offensive coordinator, but still, Ramondre's awesome. I think he's going to be really good. But so what they did to replace Harris was they signed James Robinson, but then he got cut after like 2 months. So
Mm-hmm.
now they only have Ramondre, who I think can handle those goal line carries. And I think he's going to be a really good, once again, fantasy football. I think he's going to be really good. I just traded for him in our league, obviously. From you, right? Didn't I trade him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we just made that Ramondre Stevenson trade. I gave up 2 first-round picks for him. But Pierre Strong and Ty Montgomery, my beloved Ty Montgomery, these are not power backs. So I just think, I guess Ramondre can do it, but I just feel like he's going to get a lot of carries. And I guess it's going to be, is Belichick going to give him that? Is Belichick and Bill O'Brien going to give him those big touches, or are they going to still try to do this? Oh, we're going to have, a 3-headed backfield. We're going to have to use our depth. Well, in my opinion, they don't really have the depth there to play smash mouth football. So they're going to need to give Ramondre Stevenson a big workload. And I think they will, but hey, we've seen the Patriots not do that before. So what do you think about Stevenson? I think he's the key to this for them.
I really like Stevenson, but kind of like you were saying, they don't really have the depth to be like keeping him super fresh. So I'm actually kind of concerned he might deal with some injuries this season because he already dealt with a few minor ones last season. I'm kind of concerned that they might try to use him too much because like I think Pierre Strong and like Kevin Harris, they were rookies last year. They have a chance to develop, and Montgomery he has value as like a receiving third down back, but I don't think there's anyone to really like work in relief of Ramondre Stevenson, and I'm kind of concerned about like they might overuse him too much, and then you've lost one of your best offensive pieces.
Maybe this is a Kareem Hunt team or even a Zeke. So I mean, it's still early in the offseason. I think that could be something we see, but Dalvin Cook as well. I think Dalvin Cook is definitely the best of that group still available. So we'll see if he ever, I think he wants more money than he's getting offered right now. So I think that's a possibility, but we'll have to see. Is there anything else you want to touch on with this Patriots offense? I think, what's the deal with Mike Gesicki? Dolphins kind of let him go, and he only could get a 1-year contract. What do you expect out of him?
I think the problem with it is he's going to be behind Hunter Henry, and I think Hunter Henry is like solidly a much better just tight end in a general sense. The problem is that Mike Gesicki, he's really just a huge wide receiver, and he's not necessarily mobile enough after the catch to really do anything. So Mike Gesicki's kind of like in a weird position of like, is he just like a toss-up ball guy? Is he an athletic tight end? Is he an inline tight end? And it creates like a weird scenario with how you use him. And he also wanted to be paid receiver money, or at least that's what a lot of the reports came out. Obviously, I'm not like a beat writer with the team, so I don't know specifics, but it was like kind of well known that he was asking for a lot more money than like the teams felt he was worth, which is why he signed the 1-year deal with New England. But he's also going to be the second guy, so maybe that'll help him develop because he gets to sit and learn, or who knows, to be honest. But
Yeah, and Belichick, he's kind of the guy who started this whole two receiving tight end thing with Gronk and Aaron Hernandez. And since then, he's tried to replicate it. They kind of did it for a sec with Martellus Bennett, but I mean, recently they signed Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. Hunter Henry's been good. I think he's mostly met expectations. Jonnu, it didn't work. And I think they're trying to get what they wanted from Jonnu with Mike Gesicki here. I think it's possible. I think Mac Jones is smart and solid. And I think he's going to have a bounce back year. It's just the matter of fact is the guy does not have an elite arm and he does not have any sense of mobility despite being young. So they're going to need him to be pinpoint accurate. And it's kind of what he was as a rookie. It's why they made the playoffs. But I don't know. It's a lot of pressure on him as well. So I don't view this as a playoff team, but I think they're going to be better.
yeah, no, I agree. I think Bill O'Brien may not be like the best head coach, but I think he should be fine as like the offensive coordinator. And like we were talking about, like they actually have an offensive coordinator this time around.
Yeah.
So that's probably going to be super helpful with at least the organizational standpoint. For like making sure everyone's in the right spots, everyone knows they're what they're running and stuff like that. But yeah, I think the offense is just very lacking. It's just very average, below average at best. And like unfortunately, like that's just not going to get it done, which is why they're heavily relying on the defense. And I like the defense a little more, but I also have some reservations about their defense as well a little bit.
This is my thing. I was going to say this on paper. I was like, oh yeah, Patriots defense is good. I don't know, even a couple years ago when they made the playoffs 2 seasons ago, I don't know if they have like those classic Patriots defensive captains anymore outside of Matt Judon and Kyle Duggar. I just don't know there's a lot of solid hands. Bill Belichick loves his solid hands, but those guys were always at best when they were playing behind those top end talents that the Patriots developed. Now, maybe they're going to develop them again this season. We'll see some guys step up. I'm not sure, but I mean, Lawrence Guy's been there forever. I mean, Dietrich Wise is older than you think. Jawan Bentley, same thing. I don't know. I just don't know if this is really. I don't know who I don't know who the leaders of this defense are. Now, maybe it's some of these young guys. Christian Gonzalez fell to them in the draft. Maybe just right away as a rookie, he steps up. Marcus Jones, he's an electric kick returner. Maybe he can take a step as a corner. And then Jack Jones, who had a really good rookie season, but once again fell into a little bit of legal trouble recently. It doesn't seem like he's going to miss. It doesn't sound like he's getting suspended, but just you don't want to hear his name in the news for a negative reason again, but you did. So we'll have to see how that plays out.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't love what they're doing. They're banking a lot on development. And I think the way they're banking on development is a little different from like what the Jets or the Dolphins or the Bills are doing, because they still have those established guys. Maybe they're not the greatest, but they have someone established. But I just feel like the Patriots are kind of just relying on like an average guy as their starter and then hoping this like 6th-round rookie like really gets it together. And I don't really know how I feel about that. So, and especially like you're saying, I don't love their secondary outside of like Duggar and Christian Gonzalez, to be honest.
Yeah, Jonathan Jones in the slot. I mean, he's good, but I don't really ever recall. I don't know. Maybe this is disrespectful. He's been in New England for a long time, but I don't really ever recall being like, yeah, Jonathan Jones really, really changed the game. Like, he's solid, but like, I don't know. It just feels like a lot of guys who were there in the Brady era still are there, but like, it's kind of, so I don't know. I think these young talent, I think they have a lot of young talent, but can that young talent step up, I guess, is what we're going to see. I think they're going to frankly struggle. I mean, Christian Gonzalez, this is not the division you want to be as a rookie corner, a number one rookie corner. I mean, maybe if you have Gilmore or JC Jackson to play off of, sure. But as a number one rookie corner going against these receivers, it's going to be tough.
Oh yeah, especially because Jonathan Jones, like he's their slot guy. He's not even like a boundary corner. So if they're starting him at boundary corner, that's not a good look for the rest of that defense. And I love Christian Gonzalez. He's Colombian. Shout out to the Colombians out there. I'm Colombian. So I love him. but I think they're really like they're taking trial by fire a little too seriously, and they're throwing him to the wolves. And I feel bad for him because I think people are like after this season, unless they can figure something out, people are gonna be like, "Wow, he had a rough rookie season. I don't know if he's gonna pan out." And I don't think that's fair to him because I think he has the capability to be a number one corner in this league.